What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good? Yes, yes, yes. There it is. What's good, Andrew? How you doing? For the Facebook user, I don't see your avatar. Jump on or in the YouTube space, y'all. YouTube.com/LemDrops. Jump in there, you guys. Just some thoughts for this new year. And I got it all scripted out. So this is going to be good, guys. This is going to be good. Bro, I have no idea who you are. Who are you? Let's see. Who is jumping in? Who is the Facebook user? I have no idea. Welcome, everybody. Let me put this out. What's good, everybody? Good morning here, or this afternoon rather, from New York City. I'm live coming to you from Staten Island, New York, and doing great, brother. Ready to knock 2021 out of the park. Yes. Sam, maybe later on, bro. You have my interview mode, right? Jason, welcome, sir. Welcome. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you for jumping in the YouTube space. I got something here that I just want to share with you. I'm a little inspired this morning, so I want to bring that inspiration to you guys. We're coming into 2021, this coming new year, and I've got certain things that I want to talk about. So let's see. Can you tell who I am? I'm going to assume this is June because you're the only one that doesn't show up. Come in on the YouTube space, guys, because I can't see who you are. And I'm restreaming to several platforms or several groups and over here on YouTube, obviously. So I'm not seeing who you are. So please come through. I want to talk to you today, this morning. I want to give you a little perspective. Just finished hearing a talk by the Manns. If you don't know them, Lanny and Erica Mann, they're a photographer group from Canada. All right, from Canada, fantastic. I followed their work, and they did a kind of like a conversation this morning, got me really thinking. And I know for the past couple of weeks, it's been really that thought process, that kind of thought processing development for the few weeks. Something going on with Facebook lately. Weird. Yeah, it's true. I hope they don't drop me. That's why I come on through. Oh, that was you, Jason. Thank you so much, man. It is on right now on the screen. YouTube #LemDrops. You could actually check out YouTube #LemDrops. I'm going in there. That's one of the I was going to say few things, but that's one of the several that's one of the several things that have really been a blessing to me this 2020. I think 2 nights ago, we did a wrap up. I did a wrap up with Philip. I did a wrap up with Keith and RK3. And then Doc hopped in. Sean Doc Boyd hopped in. If you're not following him on YouTube, you really should. Doc Rock is his moniker all across the socials. What's good, brother? Man, June. That's one of the blessings, man. June, Jason, Doc, all my LGL crew. That's been a blessing. The ECamm family, that's been a blessing this 2021. This 2020. I'm already 2021. But this 2020 has just been a blessing to me. And my last Vlogmas for yesterday was actually on the pandemic and philanthropy. How the social isolation brought us social connections. Check out that video below. Look at that. I'm already doing some YouTube stuff that I learned from the group. Anyhow, guys, I want to come in here and just share with you some things about mindset. So let's get it crack-a-lackin', as they would say here in New York City. All right, so new year, same mindset will bring about the same outcomes. Big conversation the past couple of weeks really are mindset issues, and there are a lot of things that man, Jason, just been incredible, the kind of people that have been there. That the great thing about LGL is that it is filled with people that are driven, that have desire to grow and desire to reach their potential, desire to reach a community, a circle, and has really been driven people. So when you get driven, mature, well advisable people in one group, you can't help but to feel the vibe, the energy of just something is about to pop off. So I'm coming in here this morning, or this afternoon rather, about the mindset conditions that we may be dealing with come 2021. A lot of us, there are some people, maybe not an LGL group, but there are some people whose mindset really is, what am I going to do next year? And what am I going to achieve next year? And this morning, when I was listening to the Manns, it really just crystallized something to me. Obviously, Doc has been talking about it. I've been talking about it. And it's about mindset. Okay? Because in the new year, thinking that something new is going to happen, when you're bringing in the same mindset for the new year, you will just get the same result, the same outcomes. Why? Why is that? Because different outcomes are a result of a different mindset. You can't think, oh, I'm going to achieve this goal coming 2021 different than 2020 when your mindset is the same coming into 2021. The same mindset will be driven or will drive who you are coming 2021. So you're trying to achieve, or you're trying to change up from what you were or what happened in 2020. But you're thinking the same way coming into 2021, you're going to get the same result. I'm sorry. Those that think that doing the same thing will get different results are what Einstein said as foolish, stupid, or dumb, or crazy, right? So you're trying to achieve things, and you're trying to achieve outcomes with the same mindset. You're not going to get what you're looking for. So our true selves will be reflected in our outcomes. Really, who we are on the inside is what's going to produce who we are on the outside. Who we are on the inside, who we are in between these ears, are what is going to show up come December 2021, right? It's who we are in here. They're going to be reflected in whatever it is that happens in 2021. And so your day to day, when you're reflecting right now as to what is going to be the outcome of 2021, has got to be primarily be involved with what you are thinking, how you are considering things, and how you perceive things. So let's talk about values, verity, and vision. And I'm a preacher, so alliteration is part of who I am, right? So values, verity, and vision. What we value, what we perceive as truths, and our vision of the world will be our outcome. You're thinking, okay, I got to set a goal. I've got to set a markable or pursuable outcome next year. So I'm going to be driven to that outcome. I'm going to be driven to that finish line by this thing. Well, really, what you need to be doing is considering first what you value, because your value, your sense of truth, all right, your sense, and your perception of the world will drive who you are next year. What is inside of you, your core, will really be the one that will move you along. And you may think, well, the goal will help me achieve it. But if your values, hey Sammy, welcome, man. Thank you for hopping in the YouTube. Yes. Your values, what you value on the inside, will be the one that moves you along. Your truths, what is your core on the inside, will move you along. You will become, or you are who you are. And so the goals that you're trying to achieve is not going to be about this thing. It's not going to be about a product. It's going to be about your personality, your person. All right. Who you are on the inside. All right. Will be the one that will bring about the changes or the achievements next year. Okay? If you're going to throw out a goal come 2021, you've got to first really consider the 3 V's that I'm bringing up here. Okay? The values, verity is just truth, right? And your vision, how you perceive the world. If you perceive the world as people are out to get me, if you perceive the world as people are takers, right, in this new commodity called giving, if you're thinking, well, I'm afraid of the moochers, I'm afraid of those that are going to steal from me, I'm afraid of those people that are going to take from me without giving me anything in return, I'm going to, I want to make sure I stay away from people that are going to eat from me, and that are going to abuse me, that are going to use me without any recompense or without any payment. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to do anything, because that's how you perceive the world. The truth really is in you, that the world is filled with people that are takers, when in reality, the world are filled with people that are buyers. There are less robbers than there are people that pay for their stuff, right? When you go into the store, you are not constantly seeing a store being robbed. You're constantly seeing a store that people are coming in there paying for their stuff. If you view the world as full of robbers and thieves and takers, then you're not going to go out there in the world to give anything to the world, because you think you're just going to be robbed. That's your perception of the world. You value more about what you have rather than what you can give, because you perceive the world as takers rather than receivers and givers. But if you value the world, all right, let's bring this up. All right. Okay, if you value the world and you perceive the world as full of potential, if you perceive the world as full of people that will pay into you and give into you and value what you're going to give, that's what you're going to see. Now, sure, there are going to be takers. Sure. Oh, here we go. He's in full preacher mode. Yes. I'm getting into it, June. Yeah, if you're going to see the world full of just moochers and takers, you're going to be an introvert, in the sense of, I'm going to stay to myself and I'm going to keep to myself because everybody's going to take from me. You can't do that. You can't achieve anything great. You can't achieve anything great with the mindset of, I'm going to be taken advantage of, right? We found out in this year 2020, that it's the givers that are having these doors flown wide open. All right. Yes. Join me, whoever you are on Facebook. Please join me on the YouTube space. Hashtag LemDrops. Okay, LemDrops is the name of the YouTube channel. It's bad for audio because you move around a lot. Ha. All right. Not kidding. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, that's one of the things I've got to achieve, right? I've got to achieve this. Thank you for that, June. Thank you for derailing my thought process. But a lot of times people are going for perfection. Here's a drop that I did not put up here on my little my little presentation slides, okay, or my overlays, is that people are after perfection instead of purpose. In 2021, don't be after perfection. Get yourself involved, and I'm jumping ahead of my notes. Get yourself involved into purpose. Consider who you are and what you value. Consider the truths that you believe are out in the world. Consider what you're looking at and who you're going to be in 2021. Not what you're going to do, who you're going to be in 2021. Thank you, Brother Chris. For 2021, strive for personal growth rather than possessive increase. All right. In 2021, strive for personal growth rather than possessive increase. Don't think of what I'm going to obtain and what I'm going to amass in 2021. Think of what I'm going to be and who I'm going to develop in 2021, because your development will drive your possession. Your growth will drive your gain. Okay? Listen to that. Your growth will drive your gain. It is who you are on the inside that will manifest what you will have on the outside. Okay? All right. So who you are, let me see that. Who you are on the inside will manifest what you will attain on the outside. Right? So let me share this with you. For those of you that may not know, right? So I connected with several people in the live community, the ECammLive community, in the beginning of the pandemic, maybe about May or June. One of the major people that I've connected with was Doc Rock and Bradley Vincent. I connected with Alicia Way, June even over here, earlier on, right? June is a later addition to this core, that this social connections core that I have now, right? So Doc and I, we kind of were the tinkerers, that's his word, of the ECamm community. So we're bringing out information, and I was pretty much going with my lighting, because that's where my professionalism lied, right? On my lighting through my photography, and just person and just being out there. So Bradley also was out there providing his tutorials when it came to your review. You will drive your revenue. Who you are. Yes, Jason, your review. You will drive your revenue. That's right. Yes, you will drive your revenue. All right. So Bradley was the one that was giving out his tutorials through his decades worth of knowledge when it came to design, digital design. And so these people we connected. Doc started a group called the ECamm Mastermind, which he later named the ECamm Jedi Council. All right, I think there was about 5 of us in the beginning. All right, and we were just discussing some of the things that were happening, how we were going to approach these new doors that were opening to us through the giving economy, which I've been presenting the past couple of days, through the giving economy, because we were giving into this community, we were giving into these people's lives freely, really. They were wanting to receive from us and then give back, because giving ignites people to give. Or listen to that. Giving ignites people to give. When you give, the givers in people's hearts are ignited to give back. There is no loss in giving. All right. There is no loss in giving. And I talked about the 3 tips, right? I'm going to link that video below, but the 3 tips to be a giver. The last tip I said is do what you enjoy, because even if nobody gives back to you, you are receiving from yourself the joy of giving to the people, because you are giving from what you value. You're giving from what you enjoy. So when you're producing content, when you're giving products out there in the world, you are enjoying it. So Alicia, one of the things that I've learned from Alicia is be a giver before anybody even asks, right? So he asked us for our logo. He asked us for addresses, because he was going to send us these gifts that we didn't ask for, that we didn't require, that we didn't even know was possible or available to us. And he was just giving. And one of the things that then turned us is, you know what, this Alicia, we could trust him, because even in this place where there is no expectation of giving, he gave. And because of that, we understand that if he's a giver, initially a giver, then there is no way for us to be used and abused by a man who desires to give. And so we trust him. But there is no loss when you are giving from your own joy. If you are enjoying what you're doing, if people don't return it to you, then you are of no loss, because it's self-fulfilling, right? This giving is self-fulfilling. You're giving from yourself. So for instance, as a preacher, if I'm preaching to people with a desire to gain, I'm going to hate preaching, right? But because I'm preaching with a desire to just give from myself, then there's joy in my preaching, because every time I share, I am being fulfilled. So that's what you have to do. If you're looking at the world out there thinking, oh man, this world is full of takers, well, then just give from what you enjoy, because then your giving is part of your self-fulfilling. or your self-fulfillment. But 2021, seek for personal growth rather than possessive increase, because as you grow, so will your wealth. There is a scripture in John, 3 John 2, and I'm going to quote in King James Version. It says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health even as your soul prospers." So the prosperity and your health is reflective of your soul prosperity. Your outward prosperity is reflective from your inner prosperity. What you have on the outside is due and is caused by what you have on the inside, right? So we're constantly, for those of us that are not yet in this space, we're constantly thinking of what I can gain, what can I have, what can I have, what can I have, how much money can I make, how many friends can I attain, how many circles can I be involved in, when you should be thinking, okay, what do I think about money? How do I perceive money? What kind of a friend am I, right? What kind of a friend am I? What kind of a person am I? And what can I give to communities? How involved can I be in this community when you're thinking that way? Okay, June says, right, people give unconditionally. It's up to you what you do with what you receive. Yes. So that's the thing, right, June? Is we're really making people, we're really driving ourselves on how people receive us. But you can't control how people receive you. You can't control who people are, right? So if a thief or a robber is what's receiving you, you can't control that. But you can control who you are. So if you're a giver on the inside, then you're driving that and you're giving out, y'all. You're giving out. People are messing up their joy because they're driving their giving from what people return to them, when they should be driving their joy, or they're driving their giving from who they are, because that's where joy comes. You're not going to be messed up by people's reactions because you can't control how they react to you. You can only control how you give out. So let me go into this, right? So for 2021, before you enter 2021, these next couple of days, really reflect, reconsider, reframe, reject, and reaffirm. Again, I'm a preacher, so alliteration is my game plan, right? So number one is reflect about 2020, who you are, what you've learned, the people that you've came in contact with. I think about myself in 2020 because of who I am. I got involved in communities and get connected with people that I would have never got connected with because of my desire to learn, my desire to know, and my desire to give and to be a part. So going back to my connections with Bradley and Doc, and later on Diana, and later on June, and later on the community. Thank you, Jovito. You're showing up. So you've allowed ECamm the permission. All right. So connecting back to them. So when we were part of this group, right? So I was just trying to give. So Doc made me a moderator in his group and or on his YouTube and things of that nature. Now Doc, obviously, he had like 4,000 or how many ever followers on or subscribers on YouTube, or maybe 2. I'm not sure when, but when I got into that space, I did not wait for Doc to tell me, hey, this is what I want to see. I didn't wait. I wasn't waiting for him to dictate me. Listen to that. I wasn't waiting for the leader to dictate who I was going to be in that community. In fact, when we went into Let's Get Live group, I did not wait. And you will see that those people that were doing the wrap-ups, we did not wait for directives. Like Elicio did not wait for Doc to say, hey, let's do wrap-ups. This was from his own mind, right? I did not wait to say, oh, I'm going to do the daily encouragement or the daily post that says, hey, put your vid thread here. None of that was a directive from Doc. In fact, most of the things happening in the group were not directives from Doc. There were people within his circles that really were driven from who they were on the inside. This is what we want to see this group to become. And obviously it came down or came up because I believe in foundational leaders, rather than hierarchical leaders, if that makes sense. I believe that leaders should be at the bottom holding things up rather than at the top watching things go down. Volunteer to watch the pilot light burn until you are asked to do something else. Javita Fly, wonderful advice. Thank you. All right, so listen to me. I believe in foundational leaders rather than hierarchical leaders or at the top looking down. I believe in foundations rather than people at the top. So if you're a leader, I believe you're there to build up and to undergird, not to receive up and take from. Right? So in the business world, you have the leaders in the top. But in this giving economy, the leader is at the bottom. He builds everything up. He sets everything up. He frames everything up. He's foundational for the strength of the group, the strength of the community, the strength of the structure. Right? He's not the roof. He doesn't put a ceiling. He puts a bottom. Oh, that's LemDrops right there, y'all. That's LemDrops. The leader is not the ceiling. He's not the roof. He's the foundation. And when he is strong, when he's confident or she's confident and she is strong, then the group can be built up however strong it is. I'm telling y'all, right? We've got to reconsider that. Reflect on your type of leadership. Are you the one setting roofs or are you the one setting foundations? Whoo. Y'all, you got to reflect on that. What did you do this year? Did you put a cap or did you put a foundation to what you're doing? Pregnant pause. Reflect on that. So when we came into the LGL group, the community, part of the reason why it's so robust is because the folks that surrounded Doc or that Doc allowed in his circle, because we understand Doc is a genius when it came to these kinds of things. It may be even intuitively. He was putting people that were givers within his group. And people that were confident. So when I came into the moderator, I was like, none of the stuff. I put into the group what I believe I'd like to receive, right? I put in to the community what I would have liked to receive if I was the leader of that group. Okay? Right? And so we put in Eliseo the same, Miss Diana the same, India the same. I think Miss Diana mentioned it last night on the wrap up. All right? He was like, the group were not filled with people that were asking, what's my position? What should I be doing? I should be applauded. All these people that were pointing out, most of the time, these are what I would call low budget mentality, right? Low budget mentality, low acquisition mentality. Folks that are looking for positions rather than purposes, right? They are filled with desire to find positions rather than fulfill a purpose, right? These are low budget mindsets. Low budget mindsets, right? Because high budget mindsets about purpose rather than positions. And here's another thing for next year for you guys to put in. I said it already. Consider purpose rather than perfection coming next year. What or who do I want to be? And that should be your internal purpose. Your internal purpose should be, who do I want to be? Rather than what I want to achieve. Who do I want to be? Right? So reflect, reconsider, and reconsider your thinking, reconsider how you view things, reconsider the world, reconsider your vision, reconsider what you are, how you're perceiving things. Reframe everything to who you are going to be. Somebody critiques you, reframe that, not from the point of, hey, look at them trashing me. Reframe it to, look at them believing in who I am. So for instance, if I come in at you and be like, hey, bro, you need to change this, I think one of the strongest critique I did was to Chris Gloss, one of the more powerful people I've met in 2020. All right. Fantastic, incredible speaker. He's ready for the main light. And so I critiqued him in his look and his imagery and in the space that he was in. All right. The spaces that it was in, and he hit me up on private message. And you know what he said? Thank you. Thank you. This is what I need. I needed to hear this, right? Why? Because he's framing, he was framing my critique in light of the vision that he has for himself in the coming season. He wasn't looking at it trying to build his ego up. He was looking at it for who I want to be coming this season. So when people come at you, y'all, we all need to learn how to reframe people's critiques of us. We've got to reframe it. When people come at you, if somebody of note comes to you and gives you a word, a strong word, learn when you're approaching it, oh, look at them trying to diss me, trying to belittle me. No, that's a low budget mindset. Reframe it. They must believe, they must see something in me that I don't see in myself. And let me find out what they see in me and let me proceed with that. Reframe people's quote unquote attack to you. Change your mindset about people attacking me to people are trying to refresh me, to give me a new way, right? And also, when you're conversing with other people, learn to also reframe your words. Consider what you're going to say, right? Because sometimes we learn from what we say because it comes out of us without filtering from our minds, right? And so we say, wow, have you ever been blown away by your own words? I've been blown away by my own words. And then I have to consider, wow, well, wait a minute. I've got to take that because that was good, right? And then reject anything that comes against what you're trying to achieve. Reject your own emotions about yourself. Reject that self-deprecating, self-devaluing conversations that you have on the inside. Reject it. Oh, I'm too short. I don't have a degree. I don't have experiences. I don't have any. I don't have that many people that have subbed. I haven't been doing this a long time, and so I can't do it. We've called it as what? As that imposter syndrome. So reject that imposter syndrome. I'm being pulled because of my giving and because of my mindset this season about, hey, I'm just going to give and I'm not going to be afraid of the rejection of people for my thoughts and my LemDrops. I'm going to give and it's going to resonate with the people that are going to come and be a part of my tribe. The vibe, right? As Alicia reiterated, the vibe will pull me to my tribe. And so I've got to reject this notion that I'm going to be of no value to somebody that has been there a ton, right? After one night, a wrap up, Strick and I spent another 2 hours after the wrap up talking and just going back and forth about what we're wanting to be. And I gave him some counsel and I gave him some direction. I was doing the same with Bradley as he was building up to who he was or he was going to present himself in the community. We were on private messages and I was saying, Bradley, consider this. Now, who was I, right? I could have thought about that. Who was I? What am I giving these people advice, right? What am I giving these people advice? They've been here 30 years. He's actually got people following him. But many times people have said to me, oh, I've never thought that way. I've never seen it like that. Oh, that's a good thought, right? Because I was just like, I'm just going to give from myself. And if they reject it, they reject it. But I've got to give from my own joy because this is fulfilling for me. What I'm sharing with them is fulfilling for me. And this is what I'm seeing. And hopefully they'll find value. And if they don't, it filled me with joy. Right? And I've got to reject that notion that just because I missed on one thing, I'm invaluable. Just because I made mistake makes me miserable. I've got to reject that thought. Mistakes are part of the process of momentum. It's part of the process of the making. Mistakes, listen to that. Mistakes are part of the process of the making. It's part of the development, right? It's part of building those milestones, those mistakes. So when you're making mistakes, you just look at it and be like, okay, I shouldn't say that again. I shouldn't do that again. That's not going to be happening again. They are not there to make you miserable. They're there to make you move. So when Edison or when Einstein, when all these great inventors came into the scene, they made a ton of mistakes. But the mistake was part of the movement. It was part of the process. Was part of the making. Right? Part of the making of the light bulb was the mistakes in the experiments. That's why it's called experimentation. And so you cannot be crippled by your mistakes. You've got to be moved. Listen, you've got to be moved by your mistakes, and you've got to reject the misery that comes in your mind by the making of mistakes. And you've got to turn it around, reframe the feelings of the negative feelings that you have about your mistakes. Reframe it so that you can continue to move. That's what I'm trying to do right now with us this morning, is reframing our approach to mistakes, reframing our approach to other people not liking what we're saying. Listen, if people reject you, it just means it's time to go back to the drawing board and reframe, reconsider, reflect what we have so that we could present it again. The idea may not be bad. Maybe the product may not be bad. Maybe the content may not be bad. It's just placed in a different framework. It's just placed in a different box, so to speak, or a different approach. And so just reapproaching things may get you a different result, right? So you are fantastic. You are great. Like Coach Frenchie would say, you are amazing. So inside of you, the breath of God resides in you. The fire of the Spirit of God is inside of you. And so if you just present it like the stove, right? A pot placed over a stove will boil it, right? Will boil the water. But you put your hand over the stove, it'll burn you. And so it's just a matter of using the fire in different ways. All right. And lastly, reaffirm who you are, right? Reaffirm. And that's part of the reasons why we so enjoyed Coach Frenchie. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll link his channel below. That's why, because every time he came with his coaching is, you're great, you're awesome. Not everyone will like your idea. Do you reframe? Listen, the idea, if it's rejected, this is a good question. Not everyone will like your idea. Do you reframe? I think not. Okay, so there may be people that may not like it. If you continue to push those ideas, there may be groups of people that will enjoy it, right? But it's a matter of reconsidering and reflecting. Is this a viable idea? Do I want to continue pursuing this idea, right? The light bulb situation, right? Do I want to continue pursuing this idea? And there may be a lot of rejections to the idea, right? We know about Ray Kroc, right, with his approach to marketing McDonald's. Back when there were only a set of people, I think 29 investors, and only 12 signed up to the idea of McDonald's franchising, right? Back in those days, because there will be people that will reject your idea, all right? And so you have to just consider: is this from who I am? Is this the core of who I am? Not the product result, not what will come out as a product, but rather, is this who I want to be known by? Is this who I am? And so you're not constantly changing who you are. You have to find your values. You have to see the vision that you have for the world. You have to look out there and know your truths, because they are the ones that are going to drive you, not your goals. All right. Hi, Tommy Ellis on Facebook. Not showing up right now. Join on YouTube. Thank you. Mistakes around people who care about you are recoverable. Mistakes around those who don't are refining, cleansing, and strengthening. Thank you, Jason, for adding. Yes. I don't know who said this, but Jesus was hated by religious leaders. His task was the same. Correct. So just because people hate what you do doesn't mean you have to change it. You have to first love what you do, right? Talking about Jesus, he said, for this hour I came. For this reason I came, right? during the day of the religious not the religious, but the wedding ceremony at Cana, right? His mother came to him and said, my hour is not yet come. This was not what I made for. This was not who I am. I'm going to do it right now to satisfy whoever it is I need to satisfy. But my hour is about the cross. My hour is about Calvary. And though the religious leaders rejected him, all right, that's Tommy. The idea is finite, the method, the variable, and not all work. 1,000 eats do not make a library. 1,000 eats do not make a library. All right. Thanks, Tommy. Join me, bro. So Jesus, even at this point, the concept is really this. If your product is rejected, don't think of that rejection of your idea. You've just got to look, is this who I want to be? If this is who I want to be, no matter who's coming with you, no matter who's riding with you, no matter if people are jumping on the bandwagon or off the bandwagon, be about who you want to be. Be about who you want to be, because out of who you are. Thank you, Miss Diana. All right, because out of who you are is where your abundance will lie. If you're constantly shifting who you are, and this is again speaking to what I'm talking about right now. If you're constantly trying to change and shift who you are because of what people like and what people don't like, it's not about who you are on the inside, right? Your joy will not be achieved come 2021 if you're constantly motivated by external pressures. You've got to be motivated by internal values, your internal truths, and your internal perception of the world. Now, you might have to reflect and reconsider some of those things because it may not be producing what you want. So if it's not, if your desire is to be influential, if your desire is to be valuable to other people, you have to consider how you're going to do that, right? And reaffirm. I'm holding back because this is LemDrops time, his moment. Thank you, bro. You're welcome to hop in, June. All right. So this is my thoughts. Okay, is I am the content, I am the product, I am the end result. All right. My mistake. I meant to say the idea is finite, the method is variable, and not all work. 1,000 ways do not make a light bulb. Right, Mr. Edison? Yes, 1,000 ways do not make a light bulb. Yeah, so the concept is you're not married. Somebody said it is don't be married to methods. Be married to the mission. All right. So for the content space that I'm speaking into, I am the content, right? I am the product. Even if you have a product outside, like one of the incredible examples that I've seen of customer service were the Nixons, right, with Press and Sow, because I thought I had ordered one of their shirt, the purple shirt. And so I was waiting. Miss Diana came online and she was bigging up the Nixons and Press and Sow, their company, and showing up her shirts, their shirts. And I was like, hey, I'm waiting. I'm anxiously waiting for mine. And one of the folks from Press and Sow, Sylvia, hit me up and said, hey, we don't see you in the computer. Did you purchase the shirt? And I was like, well, I did. I thought I did. And they were like, no worries. We got you in. Send us your address and we'll send you this product. And then not only did they send me the T-shirts, which was fabulously packaged, by the way, and affirmingly packaged, they also gave me other things, which is incredible. Now, I'm looking at the shirt and I think, well, that's the product. Some people may look at the shirt and think that's the product. Well, the issue with customer service, with people's customer service, is they think the product is the product, right? They think that what people really want is the product. Well, what we're really looking at is who you are as a company, who you are behind the product. So I am the product. Whatever I produce, that's who I am, right? So if I'm producing photography, for instance, or if I'm producing live stream, for instance, or if I'm producing shirts, The shirt really is just an outlet of who I am. The shirt is really just a byproduct of who I am. The shirt is really a byproduct of who the Nixons are. And that's the reason why it's packaged positively. That's why it's packaged beautifully, because inside of them is this beautiful thing. They want to show themselves in their product, right? ECamm is the same. Right? People mentioned it. This ECammLive, the software that I'm using to go live right now, affiliate link below, right? They are the product. Why? Because they're looking at it, and every time somebody brought in a question or somebody suggested an update or an upgrade, they started to get working on it. They're not thinking, oh, when we get to it, whatever, you're enjoying the product anyway, we're making the money, No, they're like, we want to show value to the product that we have because this is us. Tommy and Lem, when a reporter asked, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Edison replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. Whew! Great success is built on failure, frustration, even catastrophe. Albert Einstein did not speak until he was 4 years old and did not read until he was 7. Thank you. Please join us on YouTube, Facebook user. I'd love to put a face behind that comment. That is fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So I am the product. I am the end result. Okay, consider that. Okay, I am the content. I am the product. I am the end result. At the end of it all, at the end of 2021, did I present me? All right. Not the product, not an outcome. Did I become better? Did I express who I am? Did I grow? Did I challenge me? Right? That is Paul. Yes, Paul. Fantastic, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the follow and the subscription yesterday as well. Thank you. Right? I am the end result. Right? Now, much like what we've been talking about with the critiques of almost every video that came up during this season of Vlogmas, just because you want to bring it out there, doesn't mean you should. Okay, we understand from the critiques. Well, this is me, I'm going to go and bring it out there. Well, really what happens in this, the product is really end user, right? Because if you're going to make a content, the end user is important, right? Not just you. You're developing yourself. You're becoming a better you because you have something to provide others. So, for instance, if N Sow sent me something in a raggedy bag and it's just all crumpled up, their shirts are not nicely folded, and they didn't have their information in there nicely done, and it's just all crumpled up, well, you're going to get what you're sending out there. So if people are not logging on, if people are not if the light bulb never came to be 1,000 steps, it wouldn't have mattered, because the light bulb was for the end user. But you're not, what I'm saying is, you considering the end user, you're considering who you're talking to. You're considering the outcome you're trying to achieve, right? Be about it on the inside. Be about it on the inside. So the subs or the replays or the people engaging you, they are not trying to diss you. They're trying to frame you. They're trying to tell you something. So you're not looking at it as people don't love me, people don't like me. But maybe there's just a different way to approach it. Don't be product driven in the mindset of the outcome of whatever it is, but be product driven in the mindset of who do I want to be at the end result, right? At the end of 2021, where am I going to be? Not in money, not in finance, because your money will be driven. Your amount of money will be driven by what you think of money. Your amount of friends will be driven by how you perceive friendship. Your amount of circles and where you are in your circles will be driven by who you are in the company of other people. Right? Yeah, Zig said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But even in that aspect, Tommy, if you think about it, unless I care about people, right? If that statement is driving me rather than who I am on the inside is driving me, I will fail at fulfilling that statement, right? In ministry too. I had to reframe. I had to reframe and reconsider. I was looking at the church in an organizational way. And I called one of my pastor friends and he's like, bro, you got to get to the core. You've got to get to the center of what you're trying to do. This is about discipleship. This is about building people. This is about bringing people to a place where God has called them. Not where you want the organization to be, but where God wants people to be. And I had to sit back and I'm like, man, I've just been looking at it so bad. And that's where my misery lied. Right? Whatever I thought was wrong with the organization, whatever I thought was wrong with my church was not because of the church itself, not because of the people that were involved. It's how I was perceiving the church and perceiving my mission when it came to my ministry. I had to reassess what I'm doing it for. All right? So, yeah, that's all my talk. I don't know how long I've been here. What? It's been an hour. Golly, that's one of the things I'm working on. I want to be succinct. I want to bring my thoughts clearly. And I want to be able to, be mindful of people's times. And that's the thing that I'm looking at in 2021 is, for me, is I want to be able to bring value to people with the mindset of considering their time and their schedules and what it is that they find important for them, right? Because if I'm going to be a motivator of people, if I'm going to be a changer of people, if I'm going to be a provider of people's mindsets, then I've got to consider who they are and what's important to them. Religion is a building. Christianity is a personal relationship with God and with each other. You don't have to be religious or even go to church to be doing God's will. Yeah, because you know what? God's will is written in the laws of nature, right? It really is, right? If you think about even what Tommy said, right? Thank you, June. Thank you, Tommy. What we're thinking about, we thinking the church or religion as products. No, they're people, and people require relationships, right? Anyway. Let's see, if you don't have to be religious, even to church, to be doing God's will, I really do believe that, right? Salvation, God's will are the will of God is for us to connect with people, raise people up, Speak of that, June. Some people think that the will of God was for Abraham. This is talking about ministry now, for Abraham to move left and right. But what God told Abraham was this. He said, go wherever you are, and where you go, I will bless you. So in reality, the will of God was Abraham. Abraham was the will of God. Not where he was going to land or how he was going to get there, but rather who he was going to be. The will of God was Abraham, right? Let's see. Jason says, it's always good stuff. Let me know. God's called you to pour. You can't cut it off till he does. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. I think that's what is going to be my thoughts for 2020. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. June, thank you, man. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for those private messages. Jason, thank you for adding into this conversation. Tommy, thank you for hopping into YouTube for me. Paul, thank you for that statement from Einstein, and for Edison. Diana, thank you for hopping in. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining me today. And until next year, until next time, peace. Wait, there you go. Let's do this one. All right. Until next time. I start clowning. Bro, I was picking on my nose this morning. I will, Pastor Albert. I'll give you a call right after this. Thank you. I'm just going through some of the late comments here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. This is hilarious. Dude, I was looking at it myself. I was like, oh no. All right. Tommy, God bless you, sir. A blessed 2021. June. Blessed 2021, bro. Blessed 2021, Albert. Blessed 2021, Paul. Thank you, all. Let's see who else is coming through. Last parts. Got 20 seconds to drop your comment. Oh my goodness. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Blessings to you all. Can't wait to see what's going to happen 2021.